Welcome to Save the Plot with Yoan
Fabiana.
and today what are we talking about, Fabiana?
Okay, so today we're talking about the live action adaptation of a Disney classic, Mulan. Yes.
Okay,
I
so
think we should start by the main differences that we and many people have already noticed and seen from this
yeah,
movie regarding the original one. So let's
sure.
just dive into this. So okay, to start, this adaptation doesn't have any musical or singing parts.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
very
have,
serious.
yeah, it is supposed to be very serious and also really boring.
Yeah,
But it doesn't have any singing parts. It doesn't have the appearance of Mushu, which is the comedic relief aspect
yeah,
of the film.
yeah.
And because of that, it's just a really boring film. I think they just took out all of the elements that were making it really a good film, a really funny film, and also a really nostalgic film for a Disney movie. But
Mhm.
yeah, so we can start from that. So, what do
Yeah,
you think about that? And the whole
I think it was a
not,
big mistake.
yeah,
I think it
exactly.
was a big mistake because if they want to go for the serious route, I don't know if you watch like any Chinese cinema, Hidden
Yeah,
Dragon Crouching something. He would tell
I
me the
don't
title.
remember, but yeah,
Yeah, like those kind of Chinese epic movies, they are, I mean, they are much better than Mulan, and it's already been done. I don't understand the point of copying something that is a style, but doing it worse.
yeah, I agree with that.
So for me, in that sense, and this is just my opinion, it's possible that Disney was just simply trying to please China. Perhaps they think that this kind of style would be more popular. Perhaps. I mean, they were
Maybe
going for the money. Maybe that's my
yeah.
thought.
Also, perhaps they were trying to be more respectful in any way, I guess towards culture or
Yeah,
just in general. I think they might have tried to go for a more respectful, serious approach to the film, I think, to the story,
yeah.
legend.
Yeah, I can tell that it's bit I mean, I can tell that more people who are more aware with Chinese culture have made this, and that's why they even know about Chi, because I don't know any white person who would know about Chi, which is our next point. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true. I
I
mean, I
think
have heard of Chi because of anime, but
of
I
course.
don't think if it's the same. I have heard it as key, but I
It's
don't know if that
it's
might be.
probably similar. It's probably
Yeah,
similar.
might be
Hmm.
just like it's just like the energy, right?
Yeah, energy,
Basically.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're kind of, it's like being an avatar,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, like being able to control something with your energy. I think that's chi.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, if anyone's upset with my definition of chi, I am of Chinese descent, so come at me. I could still be wrong. I could still be wrong. I grew up in Indonesia, so
Yeah.
um,
But
anyway,
we would love to also read if anyone has a,
of
I
course,
guess, more complete
accurate.
understanding. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
we can segue into our second point, our of our discussion with about this
Yeah.
movie.
That's a heavy point, a strong point,
I
actually.
think it's one of the biggest reasons why I do not care about the character, I guess. If you compare the two, at least with the animation, Mulan grows as a character. And in the
Yes.
movie, I don't think I guess she did. Come on, let's give her some credit. I think she grew in the movie. I just think
A
that
little
she
bit, but
we'll give her like 5%?
Yeah, I will. I will. It's just that it is kind of it takes the fun, but just the biggest element that it's
Yes.
missing from this story, right? Because,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I really like the animated original movie, and it's one of my favorite ones actually about with female leading characters.
Mm-hmm.
And just when I
Yeah.
watched this, it just felt empty uh,
The
because
character.
yeah, it felt kind of
Hmm.
empty Mulan as a character because of how she already knew how to control perfectly her energy and the fact that she was like a very skilled warrior and person, but she just had to hide it
Hide
because
it. Yeah.
yeah, she was a woman, and so basically that was the deal. As in the original movie, you are a woman, you're supposed to do
It's
completely the
similar.
opposite. That's
Yeah.
similar, yeah. But I don't know. The fact that they decided that she was already a really skilled, um, I don't know, warrior,
Yeah, because she
fighter.
already has the chi. Yeah.
Exactly. And she
This
was born
is
with it, right?
exactly. It's something that she was born with. I
Mm,
think I think at the end of the day, we cannot really, because if it's just a message, it's a preference, right? It's like as a writer with any story, you can give a message, and
yes.
um, I'm just trying to be more. I'm trying to defend them, I guess. Like if I'm thinking in their shoes, they are just trying to send a message that like don't hide who you are, just show who you are. That's a good message, but the flaw with this message is the fact that she was born with this.
Mm,
It's, she was already privileged in that
yeah.
sense. It's not about hiding, I don't know, hiding a disability. Then that's different. You can show off that disability, and then, like, for example, for some people with disabilities who can still walk, who can still do daily stuff with, even with their disability, that's a good message to show who you
Yeah.
are. But I don't know, oh, like privileged much, like, oh, you have chi and you're a woman. For me, the message kind of becomes weaker because of this.
Yeah, it's because also she's kind of perfect in that sense, right?
I
So
know
it's kind
you're
of like, oh,
pretty and
yeah, you're pretty
have
and you're
long
skilled.
hair. Yeah,
It's like, oh, poor you, just show who you are. And
yeah,
it's just like, nah, I,
yeah.
I mean, I couldn't really relate. And I think that's also another important factor of not giving a character some flaws and some aspects to grow, because
Yes.
then you can't really relate too much or as you would like to with him or her.
You don't
Because,
have to relate to them.
well,
You just
yeah,
have to sympathize
to
or
sympathize.
empathize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
Understand the
Understand them,
character.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess in that sense, I couldn't empathize with her
yeah,
a lot. Like I could when it was something related to, I guess, hiding your identity, because you are female. But when it came to just hiding the fact that you're super skilled,
yes.
it was kind of hard to understand or maybe just to empathize with that because it was
Yeah. It's kind
too.
of basically like a first world problem. That's why I
Yeah,
think the
yeah,
message becomes weaker, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a rich person having to pretend to be poor and have fast
Exactly.
food. It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, it's still food." I don't know. For me, that's how it feels like. That's why it's weaker. And this
it
is
is.
another point that we have discussed between our chats offline, was when in the animation, it was with the dramatic music, and then she cuts her hair, take
Exactly.
after taking the sword. That
Yes,
felt like
that was a
such
powerful scene.
exactly. It felt like such we must have the word, right? Like a call to the wild, or I mean, people have different words for this.
Yeah.
But it was very a compelling moment for
Mm-hmm.
her. But I
Yes.
think they didn't have this in the movie. And the closest thing that I think they tried to replicate of this, moment was
Yes.
for me was when she met with the witch, and then the witch
Yes.
is like, girl, you gotta show that you're a fierce girl, bitch. And then she took off her
Yeah.
armor, which is completely
Yeah.
unsafe, and
Yeah.
then
And let loose
flew.
her
Yeah,
hair.
let her hair
Yeah.
loose, and like, oh, it's Maybelline, maybe it's Pantene, who knows. Who knows what's her secret to the really, I gotta say though, her hair flawless.
Yeah.
If there's one
Amazing.
thing,
Beautiful hair, perfect
beautiful
skin.
during the war,
No
ladies and
armor.
gents.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's one thing that we learned from this movie, um,
Yeah.
how does Mulan keep her hair so black and voluptuous? Her
Yeah. And
hair is
shiny.
bomb. Her hair is bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
think that was the closest moment,
Yes.
and maybe that's why they don't want to cut her hair in the movie because they want to have that
Exactly.
moment,
Yeah. That reveal scene.
that reveal. Yeah.
But
Although it feels like watching, I don't know if you know that movie. I think it's called She's the Man. It's with Amanda Bynes. She
yeah,
pretended to be a boy. It
I
felt like
saw her.
that
Yeah, when
movie.
I was a teenager, but I don't remember
Yeah, yeah,
much
yeah. It's
of
like
it.
it feels like one of those teenage movies when like,
Yeah.
oh, you're a girl after all. It feels
Yeah.
like that moment. For me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
for
That's
me.
true. I
Uh,
think for me, cutting her hair, even though I remember I read an article somewhere, I'm sorry, I have to look for it again,
no
but
problem.
it said something about how that scene of um, with a
Cutting her
female
hair.
character, yeah, cutting her hair or doing such things, it's a more uh, of a Western approach to those dramatic situations. And I
Okay.
thought it was interesting how they put it, but also the article said that despite that scene being perhaps a little westernized or something, it was still
Mm-hmm.
really, really good and it fit, with the character and everything
I
and the moment, I think.
yeah.
So, yeah, to me, it was just in general, like all of the elements, not just her cutting her hair, but also taking the sword and putting
I
the
think
armor.
also with the music, like
Yeah, the music
the
was really
atmosphere
good.
and everything, it
Yeah,
was very intense.
yeah, 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 it
Yeah.
was.
And regarding your comment about the article, like as someone who grew up in Asia, I totally disagree with that. Because in Asia, like, oh girl, you have to have long hair, and guy, you gotta have, short hair. So I think also, I mean, from my Asian perspective, cutting the hair is also very significant because girls are known to have long hair, and then this is like one of those things that I don't know. For it's
Um,
just a
yeah,
significant, I guess, symbol of being a
yeah,
woman, and I think that's why it's very. It's not really westernized. I think. I mean, I guess you can see it that
yeah.
way,
I
but
thought the same actually, but I wasn't really sure about everything. I don't really know many Asian cultures, so I was like, huh,
yeah,
this is interesting. But again, I
yeah.
didn't read the full article. I just read some parts, and in one part said that it was more of a Western approach, I guess,
No,
that scene.
I
But,
disagree.
yeah,
Maybe what the writer meant was the fact that this is one of those stick that they've done many times.
yeah,
It's
probably
probably
that.
what they meant.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's probably that because in Asia it's also a big deal, so it's not exactly a westernized dramatization. But I think it's just because the writer is probably sick of this. Oh, let me cut my hair thing when I want a transformation. But I think although okay, perhaps a little bit dramatic but I think considering how they did it in the animation, I think it was very well done. Better than
yeah,
the movie.
yeah,
Better
for
how
sure.
they set it up in the movie. And feel free to chime in with this also for those of you who are watching. We're gonna put the videos and then you can let us know. Since we were talking about how Mulan in the movie, that moment with the witch, uh, what do you think about her relationship with her, as I think the writers have decided to make this antagonist like a fake opponent, right? Because this witch ended up becoming the mentor character of the movie. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it was. Um, I think they had a good intention behind this character, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
the execution of it. I don't think it really
Yeah,
worked. I
yeah,
think as a character, we, I mean, at least me, I wanted to know a little bit more about her background. How
yeah.
did she get to
Become
be
the witch.
related to the main, well, not the main, but the other
The
enemy, the
the other
real
villain.
enemy, yeah, the real
Yeah,
villain of the story. And I would just wanted to know,
yeah,
how did she get her powers? Why was she, um, I don't know, left behind or
yeah,
discriminated?
yeah.
But none of this appears in the movie, and so we just kind of have to complete
No.
the the holes, I guess, in her story ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Also, mm, as a mentor, I do see how she was trying to lead her, but sometimes, and
She
after I
literally
finished, yeah,
lead. She literally led her to every big plot
yeah,
point decisions. That's my problem.
yeah, yeah,
It didn't come
that's,
from Mulan, I think.
yeah. And so I don't know, like, what I wonder is if it wasn't the witch, the one leading Mulan to all of this, like,
Guiding her.
yeah, important
Yeah.
plots or plot points in the story, then who else might have taken her place? But also at the same time, to me, this character didn't seem too
Do anything.
necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, if we take out this character, the story might have been just the same. I think almost the same.
Almost the same.
Yeah,
Almost the
almost the
same.
same. Because yes, she was led by her to make some
Probably
decisions.
even better, actually.
Yeah,
Probably
perhaps,
even
yeah,
better.
perhaps
Because
better.
imagine in the desert, instead of Mulan making the decision of, okay, let me reveal my true self. If that doesn't come from the witch, if it comes from within herself, because she, I don't know, if their message is like, oh, hiding secrets kind of reduce the chi or whatever, weakens your power. And then I don't know, maybe if you realize that, okay, I need to be my true self, and then realize this on your own, wouldn't that be more powerful than getting an advice
Exactly.
from
It would
someone
have
else?
been, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And or even, I don't know, I guess, well, perhaps using just flashbacks, let's say, even though that's not something that you would like to use, but let's
Yeah.
say in a really weak moment for her just to remember why she has decided to take this decision. Why,
Yes.
just to remember
Yes.
that. Maybe that was it. And yeah, just that, something simple.
Oh my gosh. This reminds me, and this is a good example, and spoiler
It's
alert
okay.
for those who hasn't seen Attack on Titan. But there was this moment where, because the main character is Eren Yeager, and then he has a best friend called Mikasa Ackerman,
Her.
and during like a moment of week, this is exactly what Fabiana just mentioned, and it was done beautifully. Like, she remembered a moment when she was a child, and then she made this big decision, and then it reminded her future self that, like, yeah, I gotta be strong. And that was so powerful, and I got goosebumps and I
Oh wow.
cried because of this powerful moment.
Oh
And they could have done this.
yeah,
And if you want to see how it was done well, watch Attack on Titan, and
I
don't watch
have to
this.
see it. I yeah,
It
I
was
think
very powerful. So what you mentioned exactly is a good way to execute it. which they didn't do
Yeah,
very
I
well.
think it could have been a good way
It could
because
have.
I don't really think of any other character right now. For example, there's the Phoenix character in this movie
That
that,
is supposed to be Mushu, right?
yeah, that's
By
kind
the
of,
way.
yeah, the spirit of
Oh,
protection for
Mushu.
the
Yeah.
family. But then I thought, hmm, what if to give this character more, I don't know, strength in the movie, maybe this Phoenix could
Yeah.
appear in front of her in this moment of weakness. I don't really
Yeah.
remember if it does. Or
I
even,
mean, it
I
appears
don't
every now
know.
and again.
Yeah,
I just don't know the. I just don't understand what they're trying to say with this. Like, what did exactly the Phoenix was supposed to do? Like, it was
I
just a
think,
symbol, or like,
yeah, it
because
was
the
a
Phoenix didn't do
symbol.
anything. I'm sorry, Phoenix, but you didn't do anything. It's
No,
like that
yeah,
meme. It's like that meme of the tuxedo guy. My job here is done, but you didn't do anything.
yeah,
That's the Phoenix. That's
yeah,
the.
yeah, that's true. And I think, um, I don't know, the Phoenix is supposed to emerge from its ashes or something. Like he is his own source of power, something like that. I don't really remember the
Yeah,
myth.
because they were doing the whole analogy with the phoenix, right?
Yeah,
Because she broke the
yeah,
little phoenix. But I mean, see, this is one of the setups that I don't think they did a payoff for. Or if they tried to do it, it was so poor that I didn't think it was a payoff.
yes. And I think
Um,
it's
oh, although they did that thing with the
what thing.
phoenix, that's so corny. She jumped, and then there's the phoenix shadows in the background. Do you remember that when she was fighting the bad guy? You
In
forgot it.
the
You
I
totally
think I
forgot it
forgot. Oh my
already.
god. Was that
It's so
at the end?
forgettable. It's not a
Or
problem. It was when she was fighting Boricon. I think it was called.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
she was fighting.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I remember the shadows. Yeah, now I remember, but
Yeah,
yeah, I
I
completely
don't
forgot for a
think.
moment.
I think that was the payoff that they were going for
That,
with the
yeah,
Phoenix
but it
fighting.
was a weak one, right?
Corny.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
think
think it
it.
was kind of tacky because, like, oh, you want to take yourself seriously, right? And then all of a sudden, you did this really weird thing. I mean, if you're going for the other angle, it would have worked, I think. But for me, it was corny
Yeah, it
because
was
it's
a
like
little corny. Yeah, and
it's like
also it
on the
was a
nose.
yeah, and it
Mhm.
was a little weak as well. I mean, I didn't actually recall the scene, so
Because
I don't think that's something
probably
good.
yeah, it wasn't a strong moment because probably since it was towards the end, we already didn't care. We just wanted it to end.
Yes, I was actually.
That was probably the reason why you don't remember that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, totally. It's totally forgettable. Totally forgettable. Like, I think the animation, even if I was not a big fan, there were moments that I genuinely enjoyed. Like with the Mushu
sure.
and like when the ancestors kind of talked and stuff. That was
Yeah, that was
very
always
good.
really, yeah,
That was very
interesting.
good. I think that
Yeah.
was my favorite part actually, the Mushu part with the
Hmm.
ancestors, which
Yeah,
they got rid of. That's probably why we didn't enjoy the
yeah,
movie very much.
yeah.
Um,
And I
and,
just think
mhm,
the Phoenix also, just to finish a little bit with that idea, as a
yeah,
symbol is really powerful, and
yeah,
so I think they could have really used the Phoenix as something like, oh, if Mulan is accepting who she is and emerging as herself, that could have been a really good parallel with the whole Phoenix being the protecting spiritual guide of the family or whatever.
if
But
not,
mhm.
continue. No, sorry,
No, no,
continue.
no. And I think that's where they might have missed a really good
Messed it up.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, or another idea of mine, if they want to keep
Hmm.
this Phoenix thing, she should somehow almost died,
Yeah.
so she can rise up again as
Yeah, as the Phoenix.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Because
No, yeah.
literally the entire time she was so great. Like even
Yeah. Yeah.
to kill the main villain, she literally did a jump in the air and then kicked thing and then he
Yeah.
died. So awesome, but it's like, oh, you're so OP, you're so overpowered that
Yeah.
like why was this even a problem in the first place? And I just also what I mean, this is just because we were on the topic of things that I don't like. I mean, I suddenly talked about it, but one of the things that really bothered me was the sexism that kind of that was in that was inconsistent. The sexism is very inconsistent, I think, because towards the end, all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you're gonna trust Hua Jun and you're not gonna trust Hua Mulan," and then all of a sudden they trust her, which kind of like a similar thing that happened in the animation. But I think in the animation it was more earned.
Yeah.
And also with the emperor because he was held hostage, and then all of a sudden the emperor's like, get up, you warrior. It's like, wait, all of a sudden you care about female warriors? I thought the whole society is sexist. Like, what? I just think that the sexism was very, I don't know
Yeah.
what to call it,
Inconsistent.
selective
Yeah.
sexism, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't
I,
like that.
yeah. And I think, like you said, in the original movie, the animated, it was more coherent, the sexism, I think.
It was more coherent for sure. The
Yeah. And
sexism was more
also,
coherent.
it was more earned, like you said. I mean, Mulan
It's
had to prove a lot
yes, she
to.
proved a lot
Yeah.
because see, this relates to the second point where she didn't grow because she
Yeah.
didn't grow, she didn't even train.
Yeah.
It's not earned, like their relationship's not earned. She's just like, oh, all of a sudden everyone likes me because like, oh, dude, you've been hiding your chi this entire time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and since we were on the topic of adding the unnecessary witch, what do you think about the other new characters like the sister instead of the grandma? And
I think that was disappointing, I think. I mean, I really
also unnecessary,
enjoyed.
right?
Yes, and also necessary. She did not serve any purpose in the story, and
Yeah.
even if the writers might have wanted to be as loyal to the myth or the original legend, which I don't really know about like
I
entirely much of it,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
100%. I don't really know if Mulan had siblings or not, but maybe
Yeah.
she did. And if the
Yeah.
writers wanted to stick with that and try to be as accurate as possible,
Yeah.
I understand, but they didn't give this new character any meaning, like
Yeah.
any purpose behind. So to me, it was
Yeah.
kind of again empty. It was just like a, how do you call that? Like a basil. I don't know the word.
Basil? Were you
No,
talking about basil? Are we making pizza?
no.
Welcome to
Like,
the pizza podcast.
oh my gosh, my English. I'm so sorry.
No,
What I'm
sorry.
trying to say is just like a pot, like where you put something, like a
Uh-huh.
pottery,
Uh-huh.
like that was
A vessel. A
this
vessel.
vessel. Yeah,
Yes. An
sorry.
empty vessel. Yes.
Exactly. So it
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
just that. There was no content. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
think what they were going for, maybe, if
Hmm.
you want to kind of defend them, was kind of use the sister as a comparison because the sister
Yeah.
was more girly, etc. But since I don't know, everything happened so quickly and yet slowly compared to the animation because the animation dove right away to the attack and then to the collection to the like notes with all like, oh, like we need one son from each family. I think it was much nicer because the movie already, like, I felt like after 30 minutes it was like, wait, we're still in the opening, like are we going to the
What
are we
is
going to the
this? Yeah.
main creme de la creme of the movie?
Yeah.
Like it was quite boring.
It
And
was.
so it wasn't necessary because in the end, if it was just for comparison, I don't think it was necessary to keep the sister. I agree.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
yeah,
Maybe it was also trying to serve as a contrast with
as
Mulan, but yeah,
yeah, but it was, if it's only for like 5-10 minutes, is it even a contrast?
exactly.
That's the question.
Yeah, and
And
and I
mhm,
think I mean, at least for me,
yeah,
I was really missing the grandmother figure that was in the original movie.
yeah,
I think she was more powerful, or at least
yeah,
she had more impact
yeah,
as a character in the original movie. And well,
yeah.
of course, she also served as a, I guess, comic,
Comedic relief.
yeah,
Yeah,
comic
yeah.
relief for the movie. But
I
I
mean,
don't.
okay. I guess
Mhm.
the fact that they get rid of the grandma, it's like in line with their decision to get rid of the comedic reliefs.
Yes.
But I think the movie needs it. Like when you, because I guess this is just because I truly enjoyed the comedic parts of the movie a lot,
Yeah,
almost
me
more
too.
than the actual film. Um, that's probably why. Like the grandma, Mushu, and the ancestors
Yeah.
were some of the best parts.
Yes.
They were very fun. And the CG sucks. This movie, I think.
But and
I thought
also,
they had time to
mhm,
edit in between like
yeah,
COVID stuff because they were supposed to release it like months ago, right? Like during COVID. I'm
yeah,
not
I think
sure.
so,
Yeah, and
but
then
I
like,
don't
did you not
remember.
fix the CG? The CG, let's not even talk about it. I mean, we're not even CG experts here. It's just something,
Yeah.
for me, it just hinders me from enjoying the movie when the CG is not optimal. Although some people might not even see it, so I mean,
No, but
probably most people see it, but
yeah, I did see it, and it was uncomfortable
not great.
at some
Yeah,
parts. It was
not
just,
great.
it would take you out of the movie. I don't know if you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
that, like that feeling of, oh, okay, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Um,
not great.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
also I
Mhm.
think just one uh, extra point in the characters that they added.
Yeah.
I remember I was reading about the characters from the army, the ones that are supposed to be
Yeah, yeah,
Mulan's
the friend.
friends in the
Hmm.
original. I
Yeah.
think they could have had a little more of dialogue in this movie. To me, they were almost too, I don't know, too flat. It was almost as if they didn't want them to speak or to had any impact in the story.
Yeah.
Um,
I get
yeah,
what you mean.
yeah,
I think this is just a general thing about the movie though. If it's food, it's literally bland food.
yeah.
It's like food without salt or pepper or any chili
Without any
flakes. Like,
condiments.
yeah, without MSG. There you go. Since we're talking about Chinese movie, it's a movie
Yeah,
without MSG. You want to
yeah,
watch that? Watch the live action. You want to watch the movie with MSG? Watch the original. There
yeah.
you go. The
That's a good
comedic reliefs have
analogy.
MSG. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
let's be let's be real. Um, and lastly, if we want to talk about the theme and then wrap up this discussion, if we can actually save it,
yeah.
what do you think about the theme that they have?
Uh, okay, so I think there are maybe two themes. I don't know if you agree with me. First, I would say the one that's similar to the original story, which
Original.
is basically be who you are and try to discover who you are. But then they added this also, like they added this new, well, not new, but just more, I guess, a little bit more
On the nose.
on the nose.
Because they
Exactly.
literally said it.
Thing. Yes, that was family and family
Devotion
devotion.
to
Yeah,
family.
devotion to
Hua
family,
Mulan.
and
That
how
was
they,
my jet member.
yeah,
Yeah.
they engraved it in the sword, and I I get it. Okay, yeah. And I think the theme about family, it's completely okay, completely aligned to Disney's whole values and stuff, but it
Yeah.
was just I don't know. I didn't feel as if it really needed to be there, or it really needed to be set that way. You know, it's like you said, too on the nose. It could have been there. We could have seen it and enjoyed it just by watching it, like how we watched the interactions of Mulan with her dad in the original movie, which were really beautiful. At
Yeah.
least to me, they were touching. How they were, for example, talking under that cherry blossom tree, and how the
Yeah.
Mulan's dad starts to do this kind of like analogy between cherry blossoms, and how some of them bloom later than others. And I thought that
Yeah.
was a good example
That's
of,
beautiful.
yeah, that's a really
Yeah.
sweet message, and I thought that was really nice, well done, how they compare it. But here it was truly verbally expressed, like it
It's
was,
verbal.
yeah. I think if the theme was expressed not too literally, it could have worked
Yeah,
better.
of
Um,
course.
but it was just too literal, too,
Too literal.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, I actually forgot to mention this when you were
Okay.
talking about Mulan as a character, because you
Mm-hmm.
were mentioning about how like it felt flat, and then I was wondering maybe that's the actress. Ooh,
Yes.
it's
Thank you.
possible, right? It's
Thank
possible
you. Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
delivery, because
Mm-hmm.
okay, like Kung Lee, the girl who was the witch, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, those are like veterans in acting. They're very,
And
very good.
they were doing a
Yes,
great job.
they're
Yeah.
doing a great job. Regardless of the script, because as we
Yes.
said previously, you're only as good as your script as an actor.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the main actress's delivery. Okay, she has great hair, but that's about that's so mean. That's so mean. Okay, you have great hair, so don't be sad. Not that bad. The acting's not that bad. It's what you said. It's just flat and flavorless, I guess. No
And I
MSG.
think, but yeah, I mean, you're completely right. I forgot about that, but I heard how, I mean, I think I read it somewhere, but, and also to me, her delivery
Mhm.
was not strong. Like, she was not conveying many emotions, at least to me. Like,
Yeah,
her acting was not.
very good.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds bad because I'm not an acting
Yeah, we're
professional or
not actor.
anything.
We're
Yeah,
not
I'm just,
actresses,
so
but
I don't really know about that and how's the process. I have no idea, but it's just that to me, I don't know if it felt to you, it was
yeah,
just kind of
it was fun.
plain, and she didn't
Yeah,
look as emotional like the other actors in the movie, like you said, like her dad or the villains. They were really good, but
yeah, yeah.
she was
Because those are
just,
veterans in acting.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
they're very, very. I mean, if you've seen like a more, if you grew up with Chinese parents, like me, like
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I just grew up with their movies, so they're like familiar faces to me, and that could be why. Like, perhaps okay, you can argue that their English is not very good. I also don't know if they were, because I can see that it's flavored in a way that it's more Asian, like it felt more Chinese, but at the same time they didn't want to go all in and do all Chinese, because it could have been great too. Maybe it's also the
yeah,
language, because I mean all these actors, they probably, I mean they speak English well, obviously,
but
but
they
maybe if they speak
also
it in
speak.
their own,
Yeah,
yeah, if they speak it in their mother tongue, I don't know, like maybe it would be more convincing.
yeah,
It's
I
also
think so.
possible
Yeah,
you go into, because it feels more serious, right? Like you go into the depth of the movie. I'm not sure. Possible. These are some of the possible fixes, by the way.
I actually agree with what you said about the language. I think that's a
Yeah.
good point. Perhaps if they had acted in their own native tongue, it
Yeah.
might have been
Just make it.
expressed better, you know?
Yeah, just make it in Mandarin. I don't
Perhaps
know. Parasite won
scenes.
Best Picture, and it had subtitles, and it had some of the best dialogue and script.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything was well done.
Yeah,
So I
it
don't
did.
think it's about the language, right? I think I
It
think
might
you
be the
shouldn't
market
care.
as well, right?
Yeah, possible. But I think they shouldn't kind of overlook this fact. If they can do it in Chinese, why not?
Yeah,
Like
that's a good point.
I'm not sure. Maybe I would be more convinced if I watched the movie in Chinese, perhaps.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
also,
So
what would we do to save this? The language.
maybe the
Maybe.
language.
Maybe the
Yeah,
language.
it could have been
And
good. And I
get a
think,
better actors for Mulan. That's
yeah,
perhaps.
yeah. Consider another actress, and also being open to play with some of the funny elements of the original movie. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they
Yeah.
really had
For
to
sure.
um, cut all of them. I think they could have tried to
No.
work with some of them, and it
Yeah,
might
for
serve the
sure.
movie in a good way.
For
Um,
sure.
and and I think also with these adaptations, what they are usually going for, and I think as an audience or just market
Mhm.
strategy,
Yeah.
etc., it's mainly the nostalgia factor, right? I
Yeah.
think that's what attracts many people to it. And
Yes.
so to me or to us, I think many of that nostalgia comes from
The
those,
songs.
yeah, those songs and those
Yes.
funny bits in the movie. So
Yeah.
if
That's
you
what they
want
should
to,
shoot for.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
if they wanted to adapt it, yeah, they
Yeah.
might have done it better if they had included a little bit of the funny elements of the
For
story
sure.
and the singing. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know
And
how you would include that in a
mhm,
realistic film,
yeah,
but I mean the songs maybe you can play in the background in the
yeah,
montage or something like that. Yeah, I mean you don't necessarily have to break into a musical
yeah, you don't
kind of
have to sing
thing. You
them,
don't have
but
to sing, but I
because
think yeah. Like the
I,
entire time of the
mhm.
movie, I was waiting for Mulan to sing Reflection. I'm not
Oh
gonna
yeah, me
lie.
too.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah. I
Yeah.
wished we had seen it in a
It
live action. It was such a,
it would be really good. I mean, and this
hmm
goes back to maybe getting a better actress. Get an actress that also can sing and
yeah,
develop Mulan better. Because I
yeah,
mean, get rid of the chi, get rid
yeah.
of like the characters. It's
Or just give her the chi, but not in a perfect state. You know, it's like the avatar,
yeah,
like you said. Anne
yes,
had the ability to master all elements, right?
yes, but he
But
still had to
still,
learn.
exactly, yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
it's the
It's like Kung Fu
same.
Panda, dude. You can learn from Panda.
Yeah,
When you can learn from Kung Fu Panda, your film sucks. Oops,
yeah.
sorry, sorry. It's
Sorry,
because
not
Kung Fu
sorry.
Panda kind of get right. Kung Fu Panda also has like a lot of Chinese
Yes.
elements in it. Like it's
hmm
very you could tell. There's a lot
hmm
of care put into it in terms of the culture of the Chinese culture, and yeah, I mean Poe did like was the chosen one, but he had to train hard.
Yes.
Uh, that yeah, Mulan just kind of I don't know. It's like
Too
it's
perfect.
hidden. It's
Yeah.
hidden. Yeah, and I was waiting for the Phoenix to do something as well. Get rid of the
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
I
Or
think we
make
were
it
yeah.
more impactful. I don't
Make it
know.
more. Yeah, I think one of our biggest note, like the most important note, I think that we said was about Mulan as a character. I think if they fixed most of that, I think it's an okay movie. Like one of the most important thing in a movie for me is the character. If I can relate to the character, and if the character learns something by the end of the movie, which
Yeah.
I mean, she did learn something. She learns not to hide it, but it's like I don't know if it's a message that you want to send to little girls. You know, hey, if you have chi, if you're already special, you show it. But if you don't have this special thing, what do you do? I
Don't
don't know.
even care about it. I,
Yeah,
I I agree. I think I enjoy characters and I think we all do when they have flaws. That's just how it is, right?
that's just how it is.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it
she
needs to be.
needed
Yeah,
to have a little flaw, something there,
a little
something that
flaw.
little to be mastered, perfected, something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's how I think they could have saved it.
So yeah, as Fabiana said, if you like a movie without any flavor, go watch it. Just don't support Disney and whatever they're doing or the Chinese government. A movie can
Mm.
totally be not political. And yeah, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank you so much.
watching or listening.
Listening to
Huh.
us,
Thank you so well,
watching
thank you
and
so much
listening.
watching, listening. Thank you so much for tuning in to this
Yes,
podcast. We'll see you guys the next time there's something for us to talk about.
see you there.